Explanation of the book, Start with Why. Simon Sinek, Introduction to the book. The book Start with Why is one of the most influential books in the world of leadership and entrepreneurship. In this book, Simon Sinek presents a powerful, simple, yet profound idea. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. In other words, sustainable success is not achieved just through good products or clever marketing campaigns, but through inspiration and vision. Great leaders in successful companies build their businesses around a fundamental reason, not just about what they sell or how they sell it. Sink uses the Golden Circle model to explain how to achieve success by thinking differently than most people. Chapter 1. Why are some companies more inspiring than others? The book begins with a fundamental question. Why do some companies and people achieve exceptional success while others fail despite having the same resources and circumstances? The answer: because they start with why. Examples of leaders and companies that started with why. Martin Luther King. He wasn't the only one who fought for civil rights, but he inspired millions because he focused on why, his vision for a more just world. The Wright Brothers. They weren't the richest or most educated people in the airplane race, but they were the most passionate about why, which drove them to success. Steve Jobs and Apple. Apple didn't start out selling computers. It started out with the idea of thinking differently, which made people feel connected to its vision. Chapter 2. The Golden Circle Model. Sink presents a simple model known as the Golden Circle, which is key to understanding why some companies succeed while others fail. What is the Golden Circle? The model consists of 3 overlapping circles. 1. Why? What is your deepest reason for being? Why do you do what you do? What is the vision or belief that drives you? 2. How? What processes and strategies help you achieve your vision? What sets you apart from others? 3. What? What products or services do you offer? What exactly do you do? How does the Golden Circle work? Most companies start from the outside in. What, how, why? Inspiring companies start from the inside out. Why, how, what? Example: Apple. Why? We believe in challenging and thinking differently. How? We design easy-to-use, stylish, and innovative products. What? We sell computers and smartphones. The result: customers don't just buy the product, they buy the vision that Apple represents. Chapter 3. How to apply the Start with Why model. 1. The power of why in leadership. Great leaders don't ask people to follow them, they make them want to follow them. Examples: Martin Luther King didn't say, "I have a plan." He said, "I have a dream." Steve Jobs didn't promote computers as a device, but as a means to change the world. 2. How do you build a culture based on why? If you run a company, you need to have a clear why, and then translate that reason into 1. Products that reflect that reason. 2. Hire people who share your values. 3. Effective communication that clearly communicates your why to customers. 3. How do you attract customers with why? People don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. If you can articulate your why, you'll gain more loyal customers. Example: Apple ad. Instead of saying, "We sell great computers," they say, "We believe we can change the world through innovation." Chapter 4. The difference between inspiration and manipulation. Companies use different methods to attract customers, but they fall into 2 categories. 1. Manipulation. Discounts and offers. Psychological pressure. Intimidation or emotional need. Why is manipulation unsustainable? Because it relies on short-term external stimuli and does not create true loyalty. Unit 2. Inspiration. Build a clear message. Connect with emotion. Provide a deeper reason behind the product. Inspiration is more powerful and sustainable because it makes customers feel a sense of belonging. Example: Harley-Davidson. Its customers don't just buy bikes, they buy an identity and a culture. Chapter 5. Applying Start with Why to personal life. 1. Personal leadership. Discover the why in your life. What makes you wake up passionately every day? Define your values and principles and stick to them. 2. Build relationships through why. At work, find teams that believe in the same why as you. In your personal life, surround yourself with people who share your vision. Conclusion: the power of why to change the world. Sink argues that the world needs leaders who inspire, not just those who sell products or provide services. If you want to achieve real success, whether as an individual or a company, start by defining your why. When you start with why, you will inspire people, and when you inspire people, you will change the world. Key lessons from the book. 1. Great leaders start with why, not what. 2. Inspiration is more powerful than manipulation in building loyalty. 3. Real success comes from clarity of vision, not just from delivering good products. 4. The most loyal customers and employees are drawn to companies that reflect their values. 5. Everyone can be a leader if they find their why. Discussion and reflection questions. 1. What is your why? What motivates you and makes you excited? 2. How can you apply the start with why principle in your business or personal life? 3. Are there companies or leaders who inspire you because they have a clear why? Who are they and why? Start with Why is a story-driven book where Simon Sinek uses historical examples and inspiring figures to illustrate his main idea. Great leaders and successful companies always start with why and not what. 1. The story of Martin Luther King. I have a dream, not I have a plan. Background. During the 1950s and 1960s, racial discrimination was a major issue in the United States. Black people were suffering from unfair laws, and there were many leaders who tried to change the situation. But not all of them were able to make a big impact. What made Martin Luther King different? He wasn't the only one who wanted civil rights. He wasn't the most powerful politician, and he didn't have the money or influence like the others. But he was the most inspiring because he started with why. The defining moment. On August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. stood before over 250,000 people in Washington, D.C. and delivered his famous speech. I have a dream. How did he use start with why? He didn't just say, I have a plan. He said, I have a dream. He didn't just talk about laws. He focused on the vision of a different future. He inspired millions because they felt his vision, not just because they heard his words. The result: a year after his speech, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was passed. His speech remains one of his most influential speeches in history. 2. The Wright Brothers story. Flying with why, not money. Background. In the early 20th century, there was a race among inventors to invent the first flyable airplane. Main competitor. There was a man named Samuel Langley who had $50,000 in government funding, a huge sum at the time. A team of scientists and experts, strong media support. But despite all these resources, he failed to achieve flight. The Wright Brothers, a success story without resources. They were just two young men running a bicycle shop in Ohio. They didn't have much funding. They didn't have advanced engineering education. But they had a strong why. They wanted to enable people to fly and change the world, not just achieve scientific achievement. How did they use start with why? They had a real passion, while Langley was only interested in fame and glory. They gathered a small team of innovators who believed in their vision. They worked with dedication, despite not having much money or resources. The defining moment. On December 17, 1903, they succeeded in the first flight in history with the Flyer 1, while Langley failed despite all his financial support. The result. Today, the Wright brothers are known as the inventors of aviation, while people have forgotten the name Langley. Their success was not due to resources, but rather to their deep belief in their why. 3. Apple's story. How why changed the technology industry? Background. In the 1970s, computers were bulky and complex, and their use was limited to large companies and universities. But Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak had a different vision. We want to make technology accessible to everyone. How did Apple use Start with Why? It wasn't just a computer company. It was a movement to change the world of technology. It didn't focus on what it sold, but on why it sold it. Its message was, we believe in thinking differently. Examples of Start with Why in Apple marketing. 1. Apple versus Dell. Dell says, we make great computers. Want to buy one? Apple says, we believe we can change the world through innovation. How did that impact customers? People didn't just buy Apple products, they bought the idea. They developed a strong loyalty to the company because they believed in its vision. The result? Apple became one of the biggest brands in the world. It had a customer base that didn't just buy its products, but felt part of its movement. 4. The Harley-Davidson story selling belonging, not bikes. Background. Harley-Davidson isn't just a motorcycle company, it's a lifestyle. How did they use Start with Why? They didn't say, we make fast bikes, they said, we represent freedom, rebellion, and belonging to a great community. How has this impacted customers? Harley customers aren't just buying a bike, they're buying an identity. Some people even have the Harley-Davidson logo tattooed on their bodies. The result? Harley-Davidson isn't just a company, it's a family. It has an extraordinarily loyal customer base. Lessons from these stories. 1. Always start with why, not what. 2. Great leaders and companies don't just sell products, they sell visions and ideas. 3. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. 4. Passion and belief in a clear vision are more powerful than money or resources. 5. Successful brands make customers feel like they're part of something bigger. Questions to ponder. What is your why? What truly motivates you? How can you use the Start with Why principle in your business or life? Is there an inspiring company or person that you think starts with why, and why?